Hey, what's up, everybody? Happy Thursday. Today, I got Jeff from Zipify and One Click Upsell. If you haven't used this tool before, we've been working with it for years, and it's probably one of our, especially One Click Upsell. We love One Click Upsell and how it increases helps stores increase average order value. And I've seen the app come a long way too, like with the new Native Shopify app and like now the ability to do pre-purchase upsells. So there's been just like a lot of evolution here, and I just wanted to bring Jeff on to talk about the app, especially getting everything ready for Black Friday. I mean, this should be like one of the top tools you're using this Black Friday. And with that said, I'm going to pass this over to Jeff, and we'll just go from there.
Awesome. Well, Will, thanks for having me. I look forward to going through this. This is a new platform for me, so I'm going to just share my screen and then make sure I get that all taken care of and then get started. So let's see. I can't see the window and my screen. Does that look good? Can you just see my slides?
Yep, we can see you. Yeah.
Perfect. Okay, so what we're going to be talking about today is ultimately, like I gave it a fancy title, but it's how to boost your AOV for the upcoming, holiday sales. Ultimately, my title, is just One Click Upsell helped Shopify merchants make an additional $204 million in extra revenue and how you can increase your sales 10 to 15% overnight. And we're going to look through the actual strategies that we've used to generate over $130 million in sales for a small cosmetics retailer that really kind of came out of nowhere to take on and compete with some of the world's leading brands. And they did this, and I'm showing you the screenshot there of June 2015 to July 2021, just to show you, these are all based on real sales and real data that we're finding. We're not just, inventing the story out of nowhere. The brand I'm going to introduce you to in just a second, they started with nothing and just built this up by being scrappy and, having good marketing and just kind of figuring out what we're going to be talking about today. And, you can do this too for your brand. Like, I'm not promising that you're going to get these results, but you can use the strategies that have worked really well for us to achieve what we're looking at here. And just to add a little bit more clarity here to the sales numbers, if we look at the return rate, it's only about a 2.5% return rate, which is pretty good for any kind of e-commerce store, especially when you're looking at the 9 figures of sales there. That's like a really low return rate. And again, I'm just telling you this to let you know that, this is all based on data, and the brand that we're going to be exposing you to, that we kind of started all of this with, people love it. The return rate shows that because, we're selling good products that have integrity, people like them, and we're also doing that with effective marketing and storytelling. And what we're going to look at today is how to actually do that. Before we get into that, I just want to introduce you to Boom by Cindy Joseph. That is Ezra's brand. Ezra is the CEO of Zipify, and it's kind of like the testing ground for the company. So we roll out a lot of things to Boom, and then they come back into Zipify. And this brand, which is kind of cool, is Ezra started out as a retailer and then started kind of figuring out that, man, there's not a lot of easy ways to do what I want to do to kind of increase conversions, increase average order value. So he rolled out these things, and then people were asking him dude, I see you're having success. What are you doing? And so he created Zipify to be able to help other merchants. So we're e-commerce retailers first, and we're built by merchants for merchants. And that's kind of how it all started, which is kind of unique in the Shopify ecosystem. Is we actually are doing this all day, every day, and then finding what works and then rolling it back into the app. So it's kind of a fun thing. But Boom, they are competing against some of the biggest retailers online and just in general. They have, huge advertising budgets where they're just rolling out TV commercials where they don't actually have to trace back their ROI on those TV commercials. It's just kind of blanket spray and pray, if you will. Whereas Ezra, he has to actually track things, and they're doing, a lot in sales, but they have to know, if we do this kind of advertising, what's the return on that? And he's competing with these brands and winning because Ezra has the customer that all of these other brands want, the baby boomer. And generally it's because they have some of the biggest spending power in almost every category. But the thing is, like, what Ezra's got something here. He understands something that kind of lets him compete with the little guys, with his independent Shopify store. And I say independent in quotes, right? Because they're really doing well, but compared to Revlon or Sephora or whoever, they're like an independent store. And what he understands better than anybody is average order value. And we're going to look at how to boost your average order value, especially coming into Black Friday, Cyber Monday. But real quick, before we get into that, I just want to introduce you to Zipify Apps, which is the company that I work for. I'm the director of marketing for the company. Since I made these slides, I think we're like a few more people deep. So probably, like 130, I don't know. I maybe even heard Ezra say 150 recently, but I don't know the exact number. But across 3 brands, there's quite a few people that are all working to just like make things as good as possible. Zipify was created by Ezra in 2014. And again, like I said, he created it because there was no easy way to do what Zipify Apps does without hiring a designer and a developer and having it all custom coded. And since we started the company, we're now serving I think it's actually over 11,000, but just to be safe, 10,000 Shopify merchants, helping them create better pages, helping them increase their average order value, helping them make more money from their stores. And we've processed over $1.5 billion through One Click Upsell, and we've made our merchants an additional $204 million in upsell revenue. Okay, so a question that I heard Ezra ask, and I was like, man, this is a really good question. Do you know why good poker players always buy in for the maximum? And to give you just a quick little backstory, Ezra actually used to be a semi-professional poker player, and that's where this analogy comes from, but it works really, really well for this. So if you aren't a poker player like I am, I was like, I don't know, you tell me. Basically, he said that the reason that when you sit down at a table, you want to get all of your money in is you are confident in your skills, you know what you're doing. So you want to get as much money into the middle of the table so that you can optimize your chances for getting even more money back. And when you're confident in your skills, or if you know that your funnel is optimized, your average order value is, like everything is in place to make sure it's maximized. You play a different game than most do. Most people play not to lose that money that's in the middle, but the confident player plays to win. So that's what we want to do with our average order value. We need to make sure that we make as much as we can while the order is actually happening, because it's kind of scary. On average, about 3 out of 4 people are gone once they buy. So they buy from you once and then they never come back. So that really means that about 75% of people are placing orders and they're never going to do it again, ever. So this is your one chance to just maximize your chances as a store to get all of your chips in the middle. And this goes for, no matter what you're selling, whether that's electronics, consumables, apparel, or whatever. 3 out of 4 people will buy once, and then it's nothing against you or your brand. It's just like that's just how the numbers fall. And sometimes people will say, well, I have like 50% repeat rates, and that's because those 1 out of 4 people are coming back again and again, and that pool is getting bigger and bigger. But you really have to optimize for your AOV first. There's a ton of other things that you also have to do, like focus on email and support and ads and all that stuff. But before you go out and you buy traffic to your store, you have to maximize your average order value to make sure that your chances of generating a return are as good as possible. Because if you don't optimize for AOV, you're not going to make it very far. And the fact is, this is actually why a lot of smaller brands that are just getting started actually, end up folding before they even like break through to a sustainable level, is just because they're not making enough money to make it sustainable. So average order value, you have to get good at it, because if you can make more money from each customer, you can spend more to acquire each customer. And the person who can afford to spend the most to acquire a new customer wins. And this is actually where Ezra kind of competes and wins with these brands, is he has everything dialed in so much that they know what their costs are. They know what their ROI is. They know how much they can spend to acquire customers. So they're not afraid to, put their chips in and play confidently. Because if you believe in your product, really, like it comes down to this. If you believe in your product, and you know that you're helping people and you're doing good, then you owe it to yourself to make more from every order so that you have more to invest in new products, to invest in your team, to pay them more, to bring new people on, to build exposure, and to do cool things that you want to do with your brand and your business. Like you owe it to yourself to do this. So, okay, I think I've sold that point. Now there's one strategy to boost your AOV that kind of trumps all others. And that really is the post-purchase one-click upsell. So I'm going to just take you through like a high-level overview of how it works, and then we're going to kind of get into what to look at when picking the best upsell and that kind of stuff. So typically how it works is somebody buys something, and most people will just send people right to the order confirmation page that says, hey, cool, thanks. But instead of doing that, we're going to actually make a relevant one-time offer. So this is one of the pages that Ezra uses. So basically, like they check out on Boom, they go through the checkout, and instead of taking the thank you page, they'll see this page, and it says, hey, add one more to your order and get 15% off. They click that green button, and then all of a sudden, that just adds it to their order without having to re-enter their payment information. So it's kind of like when you're at the checkout line, it's like, let me just throw that last thing on there. Yeah, why not? And actually, Ezra was the first to do this back in the day. So he brought this one-click upsell strategy to the Shopify ecosystem. And now one-click upsell is synonymous with the industry. But prior to us, it didn't exist. So that shows that there's so many people using this that the term has just become synonymous. So it's really cool to be a part of that. But also, I say that to highlight the fact that this just works. So if it's working for that many people that it's become synonymous, you should be, working with it too. And basically, we do have a rule. If one offer works, then definitely always show them another offer. Some people, like they see this, like when we're talking about post-purchase upsells, and they're like, oh man, I don't know if I want to devalue my brand by offering discounts, or man, I don't want to annoy my customers by showing multiple offers. And we're going to talk about why this isn't actually the case by using this strategy in just a little bit. But I do want to say that some of the world's largest brands are using one-click upsell, and they're just crushing it. So if they're doing it, it only makes sense that you should be doing it too. And I'm going to talk about why this isn't going to actually annoy people in just a little bit. But I did want to call that out because a lot of times when people hear this, that's like where their head goes. But the post-purchase one-click upsell is quite possibly the most powerful tool in the marketing toolbox. But the thing is that we're seeing is most e-commerce business owners, they're just not doing it very well, if they're even doing it at all. A lot of times it's just kind of like, well, we kind of got this one little thing that adds things to their order and stuff. But like, we're going to look through the actual entire flow of the best performing upsell funnel here in just a little bit. So I'm going to show you that in just a second and give you some ideas on how you can best implement it in your business. And when we're talking to people, one of the first questions when we kind of tell them about this as like a bolt-on to increase their average order value is, they ask, like, what should I offer as an upsell? And we have some very, very kind of concrete answers for that. But before we go into that, I want to tell you about some stats that like kind of help shed some light on the order of like best performing to not as good performing upsell offers. So between 2016 and 2021, again, we helped Shopify merchants make an extra $204 million in upsell revenue. So this is basically like money they wouldn't have ever gotten if they hadn't have used this strategy. And 16% of all orders had an upsell. So that's 7.5 million orders. So that means 16% of all sites like Plus merchants and brands that you definitely know, they had these offers. And on average, 16% of people said yes. So that's like a huge amount of people were saying, yes, I want what you're showing me. So this goes to show you that this strategy isn't going to piss people off or annoy them or whatever, if that is your fear. And then this strategy also generated an average of $28.40 of extra revenue from each upsell. Okay, so those are the stats, like, because we're looking at such huge data across the board. We're not just looking at specific stores. It's like, these are like, huge, big data numbers. We've learned a few things. So what is the best thing to offer as a one-click upsell? But before we get to that, the thing that I need to hit on first is what not to do. I've helped a lot of stores with this strategy, and usually where they go is like, oh, we want to get rid of a whole bunch of product. Or we had this thing that didn't sell very well. Let's use this to try and get rid of it. And that's the wrong method to go through. If it makes sense to use that, then absolutely. But you want to pick products that are relevant to the shopping experience and it makes it like in a just like a logical sense from like what they're buying. That's how you're not going to annoy people, and that's how you're not going to make people mad by showing them additional offers when it's relevant to their experience. But if you're just like selling a pair of sweatpants when somebody's buying makeup as an example, they're going to be like, what is this? Like, I don't want that. That's when you get into that murky area of like kind of annoying people and making them mad, because that is completely irrelevant to their shopping experience. So just don't go right to the thing of like, oh, we got all of this extra product and we could get rid of it here. That's not where you want to start. What you actually want to start with is more of what they just bought. This is the number one thing we've seen as the most effective upsell. So Ezra's flagship product is Boomstick Trio. And what he does is when somebody buys that, he offers them one more of what they just bought at a discount. So you can see here on the page, it's a 21% discount. And we're going to look at the stats for this. It's a 10% conversion rate and almost $7 per visitor. Now, this works incredibly well. You can see whenever the screenshot was taken, I think maybe this was the first half of the year or something. So this one upsell funnel for this just one offer had generated, almost $500,000. And you might think like, wow, 10%, that's kind of a low conversion rate. But if you look at the price of this offer, that's like a $79 offer. So it's like a very expensive post-purchase upsell. So 10% of people taking it is pretty good. And you can see it's almost generating $7 per visitor. So just keep that in mind, because for his lower price items, he's got like 20 to 25% of people saying yes. And, it's kind of like it's all dependent on what you're offering as your post-purchase upsell. Okay. Next up, kind of next effective is complementary products. So these people sell eye masks. So this is a complementary product of eye cups that you can kind of Velcro into the mask. I had to block off this product, but you can see, they're saying, hey, would you like this additional item for $15? Super simple page, super clean. And you can just click that button and add it. These people sell coffee, and so they're adding or asking if you want to add creamer to your order. So, that's a complementary product to coffee. These people are saying, get this bestseller pack. These folks are actually offering a bundle, and bundles work really well. Like they're basically just saying, hey, get one more pack and get a free gift, and then you can choose a variant here on the offer page. So as I said, bundles work really well. This is a bundle offer, like get this item and then you can get the other three that go with it. So again, more of what they just bought, complementary product and bundles. I want to go through a couple other items that really work well for upsell offers if the first three don't really work for you. A lot of times, if you're not sure what to offer, I always recommend going with the best seller that you have on your store. So this is kind of a catch-all. Like, let's say you're selling apparel, and you want to offer your best-selling men's product to anybody who's buying men's clothes, and your best-selling women's product to anybody buying women's clothes. You can do that. So that way, like, you're at least putting an offer in front of them, because anybody that we've seen do this and just kind of put an offer in front of people will increase their sales 10 to 15% just by using the strategy. So this is a good way to do it if you don't have a specific idea, or if maybe you just aren't sold on, hey, I want to offer them another pair of pants or something. Other offers, if you wanted to maybe offer free shipping as an upsell, like, or maybe not free shipping, but like faster shipping. Hey, give us $5 and we'll give you priority shipping and move you to the front of the handling line or something. You could also offer warranties. Hey, $10 and we'll guarantee your product for life. Digital products are a great one for post-purchase upsells, because they actually, don't have a physical cost to send them out. Basically, you make them once, and whatever it costs to make that digital file, that's the only cost that has. Whereas you could send it out to 1,000 people and it's still going to have that same cost. And it just adds to that average order value without actually costing your business anything, which is very, very powerful. Okay. So after they ask what is the best upsell, generally the next thing is what's the best price point. So basically here, you want to make sure it's at least a 15% discount. For Boom specifically, they never really offer more than a 10% discount pre-purchase, like before somebody buys, and generally never more than like a 20 to 25% discount post-purchase. Boom doesn't really discount super heavily throughout the year, and for stuff like this, just because they have like a different discounting strategy. Some people, can do 20 to 30%, like whatever works for the margins and the business you have. Go with the highest that you can go with on these post-purchase upsells, because you know the more likely people will be to take it. But for Boom specifically, they don't do a lot of discounting because they want their Black Friday, Cyber Monday sales and like all of their special events to have real meaning to their customers. Whereas if we were just always offering, like a 30% discount, when we had a sale and we're offering a 30% discount, people would just kind of be like, that's not that big of a deal. So Ezra usually only offers like 15 to 25% post-purchase to, kind of entice people to pop through that funnel. Okay. So as I mentioned, we're going to go through the actual entire flow of what's the best performing upsell funnel of all time. So you can kind of get this in place for Black Friday, Cyber Monday, and see what you need to have, where you need to have it to optimize your AOV. Okay, so before we get into that, we've been talking post-purchase upsells. What we've seen since we added pre-purchase upsells to our flow that we're going to be looking at, we saw users that both offered pre and post-purchase upsells make an average of 20% more than those that were only offering the post-purchase upsell. So it's a really powerful strategy. And again, it's an opportunity to get all of your chips into the middle and to just increase your chances and optimize as much as you can. Okay, so let's look at the best performing upsell funnel of all time. So if we're looking at a product page, they go there, they're like, I'm going to click add to cart. When they click add to cart and they go, ready to check out, they're going to see this pop-up that asks them like, hey, would you like to try this? Would you like to try this popular product? Go ahead and add it to your order. And what's kind of cool is, if you'll notice, there's actually no discount being offered on the pre-purchase upsell, and it's actually working incredibly well for Boom. So you don't have to discount these just to get people to buy. Some people do, but you don't have to. You can just say, hey, why not try this out? And this pop-up, it works on slider carts, Ajax carts, all that kind of stuff. And you can even trigger it right when somebody clicks on that add to cart button on the product page. Just however you want to set it up is how it will work, and it's incredibly effective. We also have another functionality where if the person is buying a product that's part of a bundle, we can show them this offer that says, hey, would you like to upgrade the product in your cart to this bundle and get a little bit of a discount? And then if you'll notice here, there's actually no discount on the product. It's just because they're buying a bundle and the bundle is already discounted. And then what happens if they choose this and they click upgrade order, it actually swaps it out to the bundle. So in this case, it'd be swapping it from Boomstick Color to a Boomstick Trio. And this works really, really well right inside the shopping cart. And then finally, if they decide, actually, we just rolled this out like maybe 2 months ago, where you can now offer multi-product pre-purchase upsells as well. So you can just say like, hey, why not try some of our most popular items? Like I always use this example, but let's say you sell suits, you could offer, what are they called? Pocket squares. You could offer a necktie, a watch, you could offer your most popular accessories or something like that. Ezra, what he's doing, and it's working really well, is just offering their most popular items, and then they can click add the order, and then it adds that. They'll go through to the checkout, and then again, post-purchase will show them the post-purchase upsell. And now, kind of a rule of thumb, at the bare minimum, if they say yes to any offer, any post-purchase offer, we always offer them a second upsell. Sometimes if they say no, we'll offer them a downsell, but we always offer them a second upsell if they say yes to the first upsell. So they're going to see that post-purchase offer, whether they say yes or no. Either way, they're going to then be routed to the thank you page, where there's now a thank you page offer as well. So you can see there's 1, 2, 3, 4, sometimes 5 different places that you can offer different things that boost your AOV. And you might think like, wow, that's kind of a lot. Like, I don't want to annoy my customers and have an offer on my product page, have an offer post-purchase, have an offer on my checkout, like, one click upsell, one click upsell. But the thing is, you don't actually annoy your customers, because you only annoy them if you're just showing them post-purchase offer, post-purchase offer, post-purchase offer, like, 4 different or 5 different ones. But ours, it's like you can only do 2. And the other thing is, when you're showing them relevant offers to what they already bought, it's not annoying, because the fact that it is relevant and it makes sense to what they just bought. As I already mentioned, where you go wrong is when you're offering, like in this case, if they're buying lipstick and then they're buying mascara and then they get Boom Nectar and then I'm offering them like a coffee mug. That makes no sense. But that's like, I've actually seen that happen, where it's like, that literally doesn't make any sense and you're just going to make people mad. On the flip side, talking with a customer, a user of Zipify, and they sell coffee. And for them, that would make total sense. Like, they're buying bags of coffee. Hey, maybe you need a mug, or maybe you need coffee filters, where that kind of upsell, it's relevant to what they're buying. So they're not going to be mad. And basically, like, what we've found with Boom, which is going to do like 40+ million this year, and some of the other biggest brands that are using one click upsell, is that people are okay with offers as long as they're relevant and make sense. So an offer on all of these different spots is okay. It's not going to annoy people or upset them. And then also keep in mind, if it does, chances are you're probably never going to see them again, because 3 of the 4 people are just going to like check out anyway. So you got to do what you can do to maximize your average order value and get all the money in the middle, like we were looking at in that poker example. And this is how you do it. You plug all of these holes with your offers, and then, you maximize your chances. So real quick, we're going to look at multi-product pre-purchase upsells, because this is a new feature in One Click Upsell that just came out and it's working really, really well. So we're seeing really good traction on this. So basically, as I said, you can just click on add to order, and it's another way to just increase your opportunities. And you can offer up to 5 products here. And when somebody clicks add to order, you'll see like how it says add to order with like the 1 behind it. So that means they've added one of those to the order. And when I put these slides together, like it first came out to then, what we were seeing is about $1.49 per visitor for anybody that saw this multi-product pre-purchase upsell. And I think it's even better now. I need to update my slides, but it's like a really, really powerful offer. So pre-purchase upsells, whether you choose a single product, whether you choose to swap it for a bundle, or whether you choose to offer multi-products, you got to have those. Next up is a new feature, the last chance thank you page upsells. This is, again, another opportunity to increase your chances and your average order value. Across the board, the average conversion rate for these offers is about 3% across all of our users that are offering thank you page offers. And when I put these slides together, it had generated already, and I think when I put the slides together, it was maybe out for a couple weeks. It had already generated our users an additional $1,074,565. Since then, that's probably a couple months ago. I guarantee it's like way more than that now. But like, these were just initial findings that I wanted to share, and it's only gone up from there. So this is, again, just about increasing your chances and maximizing your efforts. And so these are the ways to do it. So what I want to do is hop into Zipify pages One Click Upsell, and take a peek at how to get this set up for yourself. So this is a demo store. So unfortunately, the one thing you'll notice is I don't have any like hard stats in here, just because I'm not actually selling stuff. This is just to kind of demo the functionality of One Click Upsell. But what we're going to do is we're going to actually look at this Boom example, because I built it out just like what Ezra is offering on Boom, just so you can kind of see how easy this is to set up. So basically, you have your trigger product, which means this is the product. When somebody buys this or adds it to cart, this is the funnel they're going to see when they go to checkout. So first up, we have our Boom Bright offer, our pop-up, and we have a whole bunch of different options here to customize this. You can change fonts, you can add countdown timer or not have it, depending on what you want. Some people really like that to increase the scarcity of this offer. You can change your background colors if you wanted to. it's like super flexible. Your buy box, you can change out images, you can add your own. I'm just going to leave mine at the Shopify image just because you know, it already looks great. If you had variants, you could select those here. You can set your discount. You can either do a fixed amount or a percentage discount, whatever one you want there. If you wanted the savings label on or off, I like to have it on because why not show them the amount they're saving? Quantity selector if you wanted to do that. And then finally, if somebody already had added Boom Bright to their cart, you could hide this from that offer. So basically, it's just saying like if they already bought this, don't offer it to them again. However you wanted to do this, it's like very, very flexible. But all you would do once you're done customizing is click Save. And then next up, they would go through the checkout. And then this is where you start building your post-purchase offer. Okay, so we're just going to go ahead and hop into the offer page here. And then it's very similar to the pop-up builder that we were just looking at, but it's a little bit different. So we have, you know, our headline. You can fix layout or not. Countdown timers. Definitely, I recommend them on post-purchase for sure. And then you have like all of your various content. If you wanted to set a discount, you can do that here. I'm going to maybe say, I think $16. Yeah, that looks right. And then you can show them like how much they're saving. They're getting $16 savings. But if you wanted to turn that off, you could as well. You know, a lot of it is just point and click. If I wanted to change this, I could, or maybe I only want to bold part of it. I'm going to just add that here. Yep. Cool. And then, yep, cool. So your entire makeup bag in 3 sticks. All kinds of stuff here. Again, fully customizable. If you wanted to hide it, if they've already bought it, you can select this. But as we talked about, more of what they just bought is generally the best seller. So I don't want to do that since, you know, this would be like our flagship funnel that we're building. Definitely want to have a border on the image. If you wanted a bottom divider, you could do that. It's up to you whether you like that look or not. And then some people, that is all they do. I'm going to shut this off just to kind of show you this real quick. Some people, all they have is this. Sorry, just getting this stuff shut off so I can show you. They just have a very simple headline, image, and the buy box. And this works incredibly well for them. But as we've been talking about maximizing your chances, there's all these different opportunities to add content to sell your product. So we definitely recommend that you add the content box, which are just kind of for left-right content, kind of old school direct marketing style, right? Where it's selling what they're buying a little bit more. And what's cool is all you need to do is just grab a little of the copy from your product pages and pop it in here. And then that's all you have to do to get this page built out. And then you just click save. And then we hop back to the builder. And then you can choose if you want to choose a downsell offer, where if they say no to that first offer, they would then see that, like usually like a lower priced item. Or if they say yes, you definitely, as we mentioned, you want to have your second upsell offer. So what's really cool about this, since we have that first page already built, I just want to show you how easy this is here real quick. I'm going to go ahead and yeah, let me just delete it real quick just so I can show you. What we can do is we can copy an existing offer, and then I'm going to take the page we just were looking at, and I'm going to click on continue. And it's just going to copy everything right over to this page. And so it makes kind of editing this like super easy. So first, I'm just going to change the product to, I think this was Boom Cotton, or shoot, I can't remember, Boom Silk. We'll just say, yeah, let's just say it's Boom Cotton. Okay, so then what we're going to do is then go into the offer page. And then all we would have to do is just edit this, add one more Boom, add Cotton to your order and save 21%. Cool. And then like you just literally update the copy that's specific to what we were just offering on the page we copied. And then all of a sudden it's like so easy to have this rolled out, and just click save. And then last but not least, we roll down to the thank you page offer, which you can see here is After they've already completed their purchase, this is on the thank you page that says, hey, your order is complete. This has a lot of different options there as well. Timers, you can select the image sizes. If you had variants, you can select those. You can set your discount. You can change the color of all of these items down here. However you want to adjust it, you can do that. And then whenever you're ready, you just click save. And then lastly, what I want to show you is another reason why people aren't going to get upset about these offers. Shopify was very specific on making sure that people could escape this if they wanted to. So they call this the escape hatch. So you can basically just get out of here by clicking view order confirmation, and then you just are exited out of the post-purchase flow should you not want to see it. So people have ways of getting out of this. It's not like they, are stuck in there seeing it if you're offering this to them. So just kind of highlighting why you're not going to annoy people and make them mad by offering as many different options as possible. All right, sweet. So what I want to do real quick is hop back in, talk about a couple more things with One Click Upsell, and then if there's any questions, we can handle those or just wrap up. A lot of people ask us like, why are we the best or whatever, right? And basically our upsell offer pages, in our opinion, and now Shopify's opinion, they convert the best. We've actually been edified by Shopify as the best post-purchase upsell offer platform on the Shopify ecosystem. We co-developed this with them to help them roll out this functionality into the Shopify checkout. So we have a really, really close relationship with them. And that kind of ties into this, like, we work with them to make sure that our products work as good as possible on the Shopify checkout. They're mobile optimized and they're more flexible. Like you just saw, you can add what you want without having to, have a designer or developer do it. It's all just kind of like point and click. And our visual editor makes that kind of stuff easy. And we've rolled out flexibility for PayPal and ShopPay. And recently, we rolled out an integration with the API subscriptions thing for the Shopify checkout. So it works with Recharge, as an example, if you're offering subscription products and that kind of stuff. We also have static funnels where you have your clear upsell path. And I'm going to show you this here in just a second. And you can optimize your upsells by using this, and you can choose your product priority. So what that means is when you go in here to your funnel view, what we generally recommend is build out specific funnels for your kind of like, 1 to 5 best-selling products where they have their own specific upsell funnel. So anytime somebody buys that product, they see this funnel. And then under that, we recommend that you offer upsell funnels for collections. So again, let's say you're selling, men's clothing, and a collection would be like all the pants, right? So you could build an upsell funnel for pants, and you could offer pre-purchase, you could offer belts, and post-purchase, you could offer suspenders or whatever it may be, right? But that's going to be relevant to every product in that collection. And so that's kind of like second priority. And then third, you would have all products, like funnels for all products, which I was mentioning, where you kind of offer like your best seller for any product on your store. That's a good way to do that. And then what's cool is you can actually set the priority of these different funnels based on where you want something to show. So again, you want your single item funnel set up first, then your collections, and then your kind of catch-all general ones. And all you need to do to change it is just kind of drag and drop them, and then click done. And now, anytime somebody buys this product, even if it's in one of these below it, it's always going to defer to this one first, this one second, this one third, this one fourth, fifth, and sixth. So that's a really powerful way to, kind of make sure you're optimizing. You're optimizing your upsell path as good as possible. And then, of course, we have split testing, built-in split testing to make sure that you optimize your AOV at every step. So this is super easy to create your split test based on data. You can look at, hey, upsell 1 versus upsell 2. or I'm sorry, product 1 versus product 2 on your upsell offer, you can test different things. You can test the same product, or you can test a completely different product to find out which one is going to make you the most dollars per visitor, to optimize every step, and then really to kind of like pick the ones that work based on data, not just kind of gut feelings and that kind of stuff. And then finally, we have like a really robust statistics section that tells you all about how your offers are working, what your top sellers are, the extra revenue you've generated, and all kinds of stuff like that. Last but not least, we have some other things that I want to point out that are kind of like add-ons outside of just the app itself. Because if you install One Click Upsell, your AOV will go up. You'll make more money from every order. It's not guaranteed, but I've had personal experience with projects I was working on for myself and friends where, you know, we put One Click Upsell on the store and we weren't profitable, and we were like thinking about closing down to like, oh wow, actually, if we could just get more people to take this upsell offer, we actually have a viable business. And we were able to keep moving because we were almost like doubling our average order value by using this strategy that we were just looking at. Okay, so kind of like some bolt-on stuff. We have an amazing support team that comes with all of Zipify apps. As I mentioned, you know, like we're, I think like 127, at least at the time of these slides. And I think there's more now. We have people online 24 hours a day answering chats. You can live chat with our support team to get the answers to questions you have. And that was actually what Zipify was built on. Ezra kind of thought like, man, in the Shopify ecosystem, nobody's doing live chat. Support is kind of awful. If I could have one of the best support teams in the ecosystem, I could win just on that. And I feel like he has really, truly done that. I go to them all the time and I use the products every day, and they still surprise me with how ninja they are in all of their answers. They know every like little shortcut to how to like do things. And what's really cool is if you go look at any reviews for our apps, One Click Upsell or Zipify pages, most of them always reference how happy people are with the support team. We also have a very robust help documentation section where we basically map out everything that you need for any kind of help with One Click Upsell. And this is just to kind of show, you know, between May and August, we had 12,572 inbound conversations. The median response time was about 10 minutes and 42 seconds. And the conversation rating, basically about 97% of people were happy with their conversation talking with our support team. So I just want to, you know, call out our support team because they are awesome and are totally here to help however they can. So again, if you would like to implement this strategy without having to hire a custom developer or have it custom coded, go to One Click Upsell in the Shopify App Store and add it to your store, especially before Black Friday, Cyber Monday, where it's so imperative that you're increasing your average order value and making the most of every person that's coming to your store. We also have a lot of upcoming things like additional triggers, more editing features, videos on the post-purchase upsell. We have, as soon as Shopify rolls out the ability to do multi-pay options like Afterpay and Klarna and Sezzle, we'll roll that right out. Recharge, we just rolled that out. More like basically what we do is, since we have like such a good relationship with Shopify, when we know something is coming, we have it ready. So as soon as they announce that it's available, we can roll it out to our users. And we're always talking about new features because we find stuff on Boom, roll it out to our app so other users can have the same kind of success. Cool. So that's all I have for you today. If you have any questions, let us know in the chat, or you know, we can talk through those. Will, I don't know. Is there any questions? I can't really see the chat, but why don't you go ahead and let me know?
I have a ton of questions.
Yeah, cool.
And I already know some questions that clients have sent in already. Someone messaged me, a couple of people messaged me earlier this week and today. One thing I just wanted to say though, that I think is like, that I think you talked about at the very beginning is like how, I forget the slide, but it was something along the lines of like how 3 out of 4 people never come back.
Yeah.
And, I noticed this a lot too, just with, working with, probably hundreds of clients now.
Yeah.
And where like, a lot of people will tell you lifetime value, customer lifetime value, LTV, whatever you want to call it, is like the most important KPI
Right.
in e-commerce. It is to some extent, but I feel like the one that like store owners are constantly stressing about is average order value. It's like ROAS or average order value, which is directly related, by the way. And that's why I always think it's like, this is like so important, because I've literally seen these upsells, and I just really want to stress this, especially with Black Friday, because this can have like such a huge impact on your store. And it's like probably one of the, like, if I could think of like one thing, there's like 2 or 3 things, like email marketing, SMS, and upsells that have like most direct impact on your store in Black Friday. So if you're watching this, highly recommend
definitely
you do this. Okay, I just wanted to clear something up with you and get some questions around this, because I know this is something people ask me about, is like what is the best performing upsell? I think someone even asked me that. So from your perspective, I just want to like confirm this. It's basically, you have like your product, like Ezra's Trio or Boom Trio, and then you use the pre-purchase upsell, and it's like a cross sell kind of, right?
Yeah, it can be that. The pre-purchase can be like anything. That could be most popular product. Hey, why not try this new product or whatever. For post-purchase, what we've seen is more of what they just bought is usually just statistically like the best performer. And one use case of that I forgot to share while I was talking about it is a friend of mine. He has a single product store, and we were doing getting the post-purchase upsells set up. And one thing we saw that worked really well is more of the same, but he set the quantity at like 2 or 3. Whereas like average order value prior was like $30. When we set it at 2, I think 2 was the sweet spot. All of a sudden it jumped up to like 75. And then it was like, whoa, man, that's awesome. Yeah. So like more of the same could be like a single item, or you can make like a pre-built bundle, basically, where we just like predefined the quantity in the quantity selector, and then people would take it, and it was like, yeah, it's working.
Oh yeah, that's cool. Wow, I've never seen that. Okay, that's huge, because normally it's like when I've worked with this, it's like it was just like you either had to have that quantity variant or whatever, that little field, and they could choose, or you had to just get rid of it. Wow, that's huge. Like presetting it. That's a cool new feature. Okay, and then one question I have for you on those the thank you page offers, because that's a new offer you guys. That's something new you guys rolled out too recently.
Yeah, right? Maybe like 2 months ago, I think.
Okay, and with that, so I just want to make, because I know people ask me about this all the time. There's the thank you page offer. It's in order for them to take that offer, it has to be like another transaction, correctly, or can they add it on to the transaction they just?
Yeah, it's just added on. Yep.
Oh, it's added on to their transaction. Oh wow, that's cool. That's totally new, because that used to be like you have to like you go through the upsells, and then you get the thank you page, and then there'd be like a thank you page offer, and I was like, oh, I want that, but then I had to I had to go through the checkout process again. Wow, that's awesome. Okay, let's see. Does anybody else have any questions? I don't know if I see. Looks like we have a few people still here. Any questions? Looks like we've got none coming in.
Yeah, that's okay.
Is there anything else you wanted to discuss?
I mean, I think I've hammered home the point of getting these set up for your store, not only for like Black Friday, Cyber Monday, but just for any time of day or any time of year, I guess I should say.
Right.
They're just like literally the most effective way to just increase your average order value, which in turn can sometimes mean the difference between, having to close your store down or having a profitable store.
Totally. I mean, like you saw the numbers like, if you can get that AOV up 25%, like it sounds like you could almost get it to 25% between like all the pre-purchase stuff, the post-purchase stuff, doing a downsell, doing a thank you page offer, and that's like massive. And like I said, if you're a store that's bigger, that's doing like, let's say 500 orders a day.
Yep. That's where you're really going to notice.
Yeah.
That's where you're really going to notice.
Yeah.
And for those types of stores, this strategy will be like, man, like you're a genius, like you're going to look really good when you're the person that installed this on that size of a store, because it's going to have like such a huge increase. And like what we see is like about 10 to 15% just by turning this on, like top line revenue, an increase of that much. And when you're talking that many sales a day, like that's a big number. So it's really powerful.
Right. One other question I have for you. Think about it. I got a bunch. Okay. So, there was like this whole, cause a lot of people that we've worked on One Click Upsell with before were before the native Shopify app. I guess on the legacy, I don't know what you guys are calling it, but, like, is there any tips you have for people that are might be migrating over, or maybe we're using the old app, or maybe they're really big, they're like a big store and it's hard for them to migrate to this new Shopify app. Do you have any tips there?
So like we have like a whole documentation on how to make this easy. Like we can provide that. The other thing is, depending on like store size, in some cases, like we can just do it for you, because, we obviously like want people to use the app, but like more importantly, we just like want it to be easy for people. So that's an option. The main thing, like the gist of like making it easy, is having both apps installed, but having the native version not turned on yet. Duplicate your funnels in turn. Like we can't like transport them over. You have to like rebuild them, just due to how the limitations of what Shopify put in place, like the framework that we have to follow. So we can't do it exactly the same, but basically you just have them side by side, kind of like copy, paste, move on to the next one, and kind of the same thing. So it's a tad bit tedious, but it's really just like a lot of copying, pasting, making sure things look right. And then once you have that done, you just turn off the old one, turn on the new one, and then you're all set.
Right. Yeah. I mean, that's huge. I mean, especially if you guys are helping people set this up, and like you can run both apps simultaneously. I did not know that.
So just to clarify, like you definitely need to like only have one on.
Okay.
But like you can have them both installed without them enabled.
Okay.
So yeah, we usually just recommend, like if you're still on legacy, to leave that enabled, install native, but don't turn it on. Get them all built out, make sure everything's cool, shut off legacy, turn on native, and then you're good to go.
Awesome. Okay. This is great stuff. I don't really have anything else for you.
Cool.
Looks like we don't have any questions. With that said, I'm going to end it. Thanks again, Jeff.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
So much for coming on.
Yeah.
And guys, definitely sign up for Zipify, One Click Upsell. If you're going to be talking with us throughout Black Friday, especially as we build up this October, you're probably going to hear us mention that we're going to be recommending that you get that set up for your store and have it sort of tested and launched before the holidays come. So thanks again, Jeff. And I'm going to go ahead and end the event.
All right.